In 1961, ordinary people were told to electrocute a stranger at 50 volts, potentially fatal. 65% of them did it, not because they were evil, because someone in a lab coat told them to. This is the Milgram Experiment, Yale University. 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram placed an ad in the local newspaper, volunteers needed for a memory study, pays for dollars. 40 men showed up, teachers, salesmen, engineers, ordinary people. They thought they were testing how punishment affects learning. Here's how it worked. Each volunteer became the teacher. Another participant, actually an actor, became the learner. A man in a white lab coat played the experimenter. The learner was strapped into a chair with electrodes attached. The teacher sat in another room at a shock generator with 30 switches, labeled from 15 volts to 450 volts. Danger, severe shock. 30. The teacher would read word pairs. The learner had to remember them. Every wrong answer. An electric shock. Each mistake increased the voltage. Simple. Except the shocks were fake. The learner was acting, but the teachers didn't know that. Milgram had one question: how far would ordinary people go if an authority figure told them to hurt someone? The answer horrified him. It started innocently. 15 volts. A slight buzz. The learner made a small mistake. The teacher pressed the switch. 30 volts, 45 volts, 60 volts. At 75 volts, the learner grunted in pain. At 120 volts, he shouted that the shocks were becoming painful. At 150 volts, he screamed, "Get me out of here. I refuse to continue." The teachers looked at the experimenter, uncomfortable, sweating. The experimenter calmly said, "Please continue." Most did. 180 volts. The learner yelled, "I can't stand the pain." Some teachers protested. "Should we stop? He's really suffering." The experimenter replied, "The experiment requires that you continue." And they did. At 300 volts, the learner banged on the wall, screaming about his heart condition. At 330 volts, silence. No response. The learner had either passed out or worse. The teachers were shaking, laughing nervously, biting their nails, pulling their hair. "He's not answering. Is he okay?" The experimenter: "No answer is a wrong answer. Continue." Many continued. At 450 volts marked 30, the learner was silent, possibly dead. The teachers knew it. But 65% of them delivered the full 450 volts. Not because they wanted to, because they were told to. After the experiment, the learner walked in alive. The teachers broke down. Some cried. Some laughed in relief. Others sat in stunned silence. "I thought I killed him," one said. "Why didn't you stop me?" Another asked the experimenter. The answer: "You didn't have to. You could have stopped any time. But you didn't." Milgram ran variations to understand why people obeyed. When the experimenter left the room and gave orders by phone, obedience dropped to 21%. When the teacher could see the learner's face, obedience dropped to 40%. When the teacher had to physically force the learner's hand onto the shock plate, obedience dropped to 30%. But when two other teachers, also actors, refused to continue, 90% of real teachers stopped too. The lesson: proximity matters, authority matters. And seeing others resist gives you permission to resist. But in the original setup, authority figure present. Victim out of sight. 65% became killers. The Milgram experiment revealed something chilling. Obedience to authority overrides personal morality. These weren't bad people. They were you. They were me. Under the right conditions, most of us will do terrible things if someone in power tells us to. Milgram ran this experiment after the Holocaust. His question: could the Nazis have just been following orders? The world wanted to believe Nazis were uniquely evil. Milgram proved otherwise. Same results. This isn't just about history. It's about now. Every workplace where people follow unethical orders. Every system where I was just doing my job becomes an excuse. Every moment you see something wrong and don't speak up because someone above you said it as fine. The experimenter had no real power. He couldn't punish the teachers. He just wore a lab coat and said continue. That was enough. The scariest part, most participants didn't enjoy it. They suffered, but they obeyed anyway. Milgram's conclusion: the capacity for evil isn't about sadism, it's about obedience. And we're all capable of it, if this changed how you see authority and obedience. Subscribe. We're breaking down psychology's darkest experiments. Next, the Little Albert experiment, where a psychologist conditioned a baby to fear everything. It's worse than it sounds.